Welcome in to another episode of the 21 on Sports Network. Your boy Matty Ice is here, and guess who else is here? It's Chop.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, baby. And tonight we thought we would get into the mind of an NFL GM and go inside of our crystal ball of sorts.
We
Um,
take it to the war room.
Take it to the war room and see if we can correctly predict the first 10 picks of the NFL draft coming up real soon this month in April. It's going to be on us before we know it's going to be on us like a
It is
piranha.
a piranha. Like, well, okay, I don't have a counter to that, but yeah, it'll be before we know it, and we're gonna see if our minds are better than any of these experts out there.
And if they are, we are free agents, so don't even worry about that.
We're
We're good.
free,
We'll go.
we're free agents, and we're here all week. Oh, but hold that thought, Matt. I see somebody walking up to the podium right now. I think it's good old Roger Goodell getting ready to announce the start of the draft. Let's do it.
All right. And since I am the unfortunate Titans fan here, I will select the first pick here. And since it is the Tennessee Titans, oh my gosh. What a terrible season they had. We've already talked about that, but I believe the Titans are going to select a quarterback who is athletic. Leadership skills, they still might need to be redefined, redeveloped. But that's why they brought in Tim Boyle to be the backup quarterback in Nashville. A
Tony
quarterback
Boyle.
with a lot of upside. And I think they're going to take the quarterback out of the U, Cam Ward.
Cam Ward. That's probably pretty much the no-brainer pick. I feel like that's unanimous. Can't go wrong
Well,
there.
it's the Titans, so
They need a home run hitter.
we just really need someone who can just bunt and get on base.
That's true. Take those baby steps and you'll get there.
All right, Chop. Now your pick is in. Who do you believe the Titans are going to draft?
Well, there's no mystery here. I think me and you are on the same page here. I want to go with Cam Ward myself. I think that's a no-brainer for the Titans. I think as of right now, he is the best QB prospect on the board.
I actually agree with that. Now that I look at like his tangibles and look at some of the things at the combine and stuff like that, and take away the workout he had at Miami,
Hmm.
I mean, honestly, I believe he is ready, more ready than Shador Sanders is. But the Browns are now on the clock, and Chop, since we're on a kind of snake draft it here, who do you believe the Browns will take with pick number two?
Oh man, the good old Cleveland Browns. Well, this is no draft day miracle here. We're not going to do some magical three picks in the first draft or first round of the draft. Sorry, Cleveland fans. But oh man, the Browns. It's no secret they're probably one of the worst franchises in the league right now. And I don't mean that as no diss to any fans out there who are Browns. But I mean, truth be said,
Yeah,
coming
the
from
dog
someone who
pound
has
is
experience.
bad.
But that could be a whole topic for another day. Let's just get to it. I think the Browns, they just re-signed one of their best defensive players to a humongous deal, regardless of what you feel about them. I feel like they're going to pair them up with somebody talented and create a hell of a defensive line. I think the Browns here are going to go with no other than Abdul Carter, edge, Penn State.
Wow.
I
I,
know,
I, I,
right?
tr- I truly don't think they go that route.
They probably don't. They probably don't. They'll probably go quarterback, I'm sure. But I mean,
I
change
will
it up here.
say we are on kind of the same wavelength here, but I wasn't thinking edge to pair with Miles Garrett. I was thinking of someone who can come in, be a difference maker, maybe on both sides of the football.
Oh, okay.
And with the pick
Okay.
in, I believe the Cleveland Browns will select Travis Hunter, wide receiver DB from Colorado.
Old Colorado finally getting some respect, getting some people up there at the top of the draft. Who would have thought that?
I mean, not anyone before Dion came in.
No. Dion completely changes the whole culture, that whole program. And even though they didn't have the greatest of seasons, they're turning around. I mean, the excitement's at an all-time high. They got players wanting to go there and play. So, I mean, the future is bright for them.
It is, and the future is bright with the Browns selecting Travis Hunter to probably play wide receiver DB while on offense as Deshaun Watson, if he is the quarterback that starts this year, throws picks.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like the Browns really want to go quarterback. They could probably come back and draft somebody in the later rounds. I mean, because we got, man, we got what, Kyle McCord, um,
You got the Dart
Will,
kid.
yeah, Nancy, yeah. I'm about to mess up his name. I ain't gonna try to say it. I can't think of it right now. That's sad. But anyway, moving on here.
So
We
moving
will
on, that
stick it back
puts,
around to the Giants are on the board. Take it
man,
away.
the Giants. What a, honestly, I thought they might go quarterback before they signed Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson. So that changes up their game plan a little bit. And I believe that the Giants will select Abdul Carter, the edge from Penn State.
I'm Bill Carter. Okay. Get back to the roots where they're known for taking all the defensive linemen, having probably one of the fiercest pass rushers that won them a few Super Bowls. Okay. Going back that route. I can see
I
that.
mean, if it was successful before, why not keep it going? I mean, the Michael
Yeah,
Crahans of the world don't come around
very often.
all the time.
Well, yeah, Michael Strahan's, also Manora's, the list goes on for them.
So now
All
that
right.
puts you on the clock, Chop.
I'm on the clock. And I think we're just flip flopping here, aren't we? I'm gonna go with, even though this kind of pains me because they're in our conference and they play us twice a year. I was gonna go with Shador Sanders here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think Joe Shobin, that's how you say their GM. I think he's gonna finally learn his lesson from last year's mistake and draft a quarterback this year. Yeah, I know they got Russell Wilson now. Danger Wilson in New York. What could go wrong?
A lot.
And I know they got Winston, but Winston's there for the comedic value. Him in New York, yeah, they're gonna live it up. But I mean, I think Sanders might fit well with them. I mean, they don't have a horrible offense by any means, and they got uh, oh my
Yeah, I
God, the
believe
receiver,
Neighbors.
yeah, Neighbors from last year, and this re-signed Slayton in the offseason. I mean, it gives them a good receiver core to throw to. So that's what I'm
Yeah,
going with.
I totally thought Slayton would have went somewhere else, but I guess he believes, and it wouldn't shock me to see the Giants go with Shador. I think it'd be a good pick sitting behind Russell Wilson for at least a year or two,
Hmm.
and having Sanders in the Big Apple.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. See how he handles that.
He handled, Aurora, Colorado pretty well. So,
I mean, he could keep doing his show off of his ring, to the crowds. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. That was so weird. But anyway,
anywho, that now puts the Patriots up on the clock in the snake draft.
man, it's so weird to see the Patriots picking this early in a draft.
It
Oh
is, and
my.
it wouldn't shock me if they actually trade back because I think they could get a guy really anywhere.
True.
So, uh, the Patriots with the number 4 overall pick. I honestly think they select Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas, mostly because they
Hmm.
have good defensive pieces. Of course, they did make the blockbuster signing of Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And if
And
you're
and
truly wanting to,
I was saying, and that's the interesting thing. Are you getting the Buffalo Bill Minnesota Viking days digs, or are you getting the Texans digs? Because that's a big difference fall off there, unfortunately.
I mean, it's yeah, that oof, you're not wrong there. Texans Diggs was not very good, um,
No.
but I just think that he's going to be rejuvenated to play the Bills. I think he got tired of seeing them losing in the AFC Championship game, and if anyone can make Diggs play, I think it might be Mike Vrabel.
Okay.
And I just have a feeling that I don't know if Drake
Vrabel's
May
going
is
to.
going to work out, but if he does, he does. If not, great. But I think if you don't take a franchise tackle, which I think Banks could be, I think you're dumb.
Very true. Very true. I honestly forgot about Banks on there on the draft board. Interesting pick. But I think May's going to be well for them. He showed talent and promise throughout the year, and it's there. It just need to continue putting a team around him. And I think you saw the mixings of that this year by focusing on the offensive line by some of their free agent signings too, but also with signing Diggs to give him some veteran presence there, a receiver.
There's a lot of
But
promise in New England.
yes, it is. We'll see how that goes. But to carry off that and talk about weapons and wide receivers, this is, to me, where Travis Hunter is going. I think the Patriots will draft Travis Hunter, pairing up with Diggs, give May an explosive 1-2 option to throw the ball to.
Whoa, that'd be huge.
It would be huge. And I think that would definitely benefit May and his play style, gunslinging play style.
Because holy cow, man, and that means you would have like an AJ Brown caliber receiver, kind of on either side of the field.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even
Yeah.
bother trying to do a two-way player with him. Just keep Hunter at receiver. I think that is his more natural position. Leave him there. Let him go play.
Yeah, because I know Dion, he played both sides of the ball and stuff like that. I just don't know how, in today's NFL, how well you can adapt to the football game and be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would be rough. It would be very taxing for the player. I mean, and this is not the same game that it was 50, 60 years ago when some players could do it constantly. The physicality is a whole different level.
Yeah, and the physicality of teams that you're going to face in NFL versus at Colorado. No offense, it's going to be a little different.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
But wow,
I
seeing
will.
Travis Hunter in a Patriots uniform, that just might be enough to just make me a Patriots fan for Mike Vrabel's whole tenure.
It would be interesting to follow.
So now that puts the Jacksonville Jaguars are on the clock.
Jaguars. All
So at
right.
pick number five, Chop, who do you think the Jaguars are going to take down into that
For
shithole
here,
they call Jacksonville?
oh, poor Jacksonville. Well, I mean, I kind of went back and forth a little bit with this pick. I felt that there's a lot of routes they could go because, I mean, they don't really have anybody for running back. I mean, and we have Gentry sitting on the board there. They could also use more offensive weapons to help out Lawrence because and we got Loveland and you got McMillan on the board still, and you got Ajugba still there. But no, offensive route when I go. I think will be in the best interest of the Jaguars is to focus on that offensive line. Bring in a stalwart tackle who can protect his blind side. So I say the Jaguars are going to draft Will Campbell, offensive tackle, LSU.
Hey, that is not a bad pick. That guy in a Coach Kelly offense is actually a really good stout dude, and he's going to be able to protect whoever's back there, Trevor Lawrence or whoever is going to be back there.
Agreed.
I think that's a great pick because I think Will Campbell can do some damage. And I think he does go in the top 10. So I think that's a great pick for them because he's a big dude who's
He is
athletic
a big dude.
and that his kick step is so fast.
Yeah,
Like, and people, I know people are like, well, he plays offensive lineman. It should be fat. Well, yes, but he's just,
he's
and
an
it's
overall really well talented tackle.
yeah, he's not going to be a swinging door. He's not going to be a revolving door.
No,
So,
he's gonna. I think they're gonna draft him, and they will fully cement him at that left tackle. Let him be the stalwart for Lawrence to protect him for the next 10, 15 years. Because after we saw this year, Lawrence is not a horrible quarterback, but he didn't have the best time in the pocket.
Yeah, and when you want to develop a young quarterback, you got to have protection.
Yeah. And when you talk about size, dude, he is literally 2 feet or no, 2 inches taller than the guy you had go in the second round pick, Kellen Banks. Will Campbell is 6'6". Now you want to see some guys who are tall at the tackle positions, especially a left tackle.
You do. I mean, when I'm playing Madden and I'm doing this whole crystal ball thing myself, it's literally 6'6" and above. You're playing tackle, baby.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Agreed.
Oh man, so we kind of went in a couple of different directions here on the Jaguars,
Yeah,
because they do have ETN at running back. I'm pretty sure he's still sticking around, but
I think so.
he's their only puncher they have, and I think the Jaguars go with um, Ashton Gentry or Gent, however you say his name. I'm really sorry.
Pretty sure it's
Um,
Genty.
Genty, the running back from Boise State, the guy who set all the records, who probably should have won the Heisman.
Yep, yep, I
Um,
agree. Discussion for a
because
whole nother day again.
that is, snaps count is not an official stat. Anyway, that's who I think the Jaguars go with the fifth pick. Which honestly, to have him back up ETN and have him as like a even like a second, third down back is not going to be bad because we've seen the
No,
explosiveness he has at Boise State. And yes, I know he plays, but look at these players we're talking about. We're talking about players from Colorado. We're talking about players from Boise State. Like, yes, they don't play a ton of like big Power Five teams, but I mean they're still good stout dudes.
exactly. I mean, they know what they're doing. I mean, as the old age saying goes, if you play, they will find you. And regardless of what level you play on, if you're talented enough, it's going to transition for you into the next level.
It will. I mean, look at Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
That's
Delaware State.
all right. Now that we got the pitiful Jaguars out of the way, I just hate the Jaguars so much.
I wonder why.
I wouldn't know. I went to the stadium and just flipped it off. So, um, that makes the Raiders are now on the
The
clock.
Raiders.
And I want to be 100% honest with you. I had Genty going to the Raiders until I had a thought, and my thought was, what do the Raiders need? What have the Raiders needed for, I don't know, like the past 25 years?
Quarterback?
They've needed a quarterback. Like Derek Carr wasn't the answer. Jamarcus Russell wasn't the answer. Anyone that they've thrown in there has not been the answer.
Uh,
But with Tom
Derek Carr is
Brady,
probably the closest one, unfortunately, for him.
unfortunately, but now that Tom Brady has part ownership in this team,
That's right. I forgot about that.
why not invest your sixth overall pick? And this dude will not fall this far. There's no way he will fall this far. But I predict that the Las Vegas Raiders, about called them Oakland, shout out Oakland, uh, they will pick Shador Sanders, the quarterback out of Colorado.
Okay.
I mean, what better place to put him? What better place for Dion to pressure him to go than to learn from? I know you're not going to like this, but from the GOAT.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, he can learn behind Tom Brady, and he also gets the chance to learn with Geno Smith.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not a bad place for him to go. He can sit back
No,
with Gino for a year or two, or technically probably 2 years, and not worry about being hurt, not worry about developing and being like lit, pretty much having his pants on fire. So I think that's 100%. I mean, if I was the Raiders, I'd trade up.
Do a trade up? What would you give
I,
up? Give up the bank for him?
I would give up a 4 night trip to the Bellagio hotel.
With a ham cheese sandwich on the side.
Yeah, I know. If there's a couple of Doritos laying around, I'll throw those at you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is probably not a bad idea. I mean, if the Raiders did go quarterback, if they're able to get Sanders, it probably would have worked out best for them because, like I said, they have Geno Smith that he could look, hopefully, maybe learn behind for at least a year, and of course, old Pete is their coach now.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, and look what he did with Russell Wilson,
2 Super Bowls.
2 Super Bowls. I mean, I think he'll work his magic there again. But
So who
with
knows? But
that
now
being said,
that leaves with you, Chop. The Raiders pick is now in your hands.
yes, it is. And honestly, this is one I've kind of gone back and forth in a few areas. I think when I was originally doing this draft, I had something completely different. But, but I think here I'm going to go with them getting some offensive help, and not in the form of a quarterback, because I think Geno Smith could be a good maybe 2 year bridge for them for this year, and they could probably go later in the draft and find somebody. And so I'm looking at wide receiver here. I was originally thinking of going Genty, but I
Mm,
think they'll be okay with who they have at running back. So I'm going with probably the second best receiver on the board. Some of it even say the best, just on pure receiver alone, not athletic ability. I'm gonna go with McMillan,
okay. Yeah, I think
the wide
that'd be
receiver out
huge.
of, was it Arizona, correct?
I believe so,
It's either
yes.
Arizona or Arizona State. I can't remember the exact college, but yes, that's what I'm going with. I think he will come in there and help out immediately with them.
Yeah, I mean, that gives Gino a target kind of like he had in Seattle.
Hmm.
It's crazy to think that those weapons in Seattle are now gone. Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy, but I mean, if you give, and it's shown, Gino has shown, if you give him a weapon on the outside, he's going to make plays and get it to the dude.
Yep. I mean, he already has a heck of a young tight end in Brock Bowers throwing the ball to as a
Oh,
safety
yeah.
blanket.
I forget about the stud that Brock Bowers is.
I think a lot of people do sometimes.
Well, he's going to probably have a breakout year, so
I think he will too. I think Geno Smith would be better for him than their their triad of multiple quarterbacks they had last year. That was like the rotating stable of doom.
yeah, I feel like one of us got a call to play quarterback for the Raiders last year.
Hell yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Why
750K
not?
ain't bad.
No, I'll survive off that. But like going back to what you're saying though, with if they did draft a quarterback here, regardless if it's Sanders or whoever. Well, actually, no, let's stick with Sanders. Even if it is Sanders, I kind of go back to the same comparison I did last year of Williams. I think Sanders could be a good quarterback in the league, but I think he's somebody that needs to be able to sit behind somebody, a veteran, for a year to learn and develop. Like I think he does have some of the physical traits there that you want, but I do question some of the mentality stuff. He does have some issues in the pocket. He gets a little too antsy. I think he starts seeing ghosts a little too much, and he wants to force the ball or he holds on it too long. So he has a lot of development to go on. He's a lot more raw of a prospect than Cam Ward was, or is, I should say.
Yeah, Shador needs to have those live reps in practice against NFL caliber talent. I don't care if they're on practice squad, they're still in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets that, I think he'd be more than ready. And if there's like junk time, like they're either getting destroyed by 60 or they're beating someone by 2, and it's like 10 seconds left in the game, any kind of exposure he can get to that environment and hearing the play calls and the environments that the Raiders are going to play in, especially like at least once a year. I mean, they're going to play
Good
in
old
Arrowhead.
black hole.
So, um, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, moving on, that brings us to the Jets, 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 Jets.
Talk about another franchise stuck.
I know this. I mean, they haven't been the most brightest in the last few years, but they've really hit the gutter the last 2 years. Like they are probably competing with the Browns as probably like the worst franchise right now. And I don't mean that again as like any diss to anybody because I've come from that. I know how it feels, and I think I can say that 100%.
Yeah, and as someone who's living it,
I still feel like you're probably in a better spot right now than what they are.
eh, I don't know. So now that their pick is in, Chomp, the Jets' number 7 pick.
Yeah. Well, I think this might be a little of a shocker, maybe, but looking at that board, I think they will get enamored with who fell into their laps here. And I am talking no other than Genty. I think
Yeah.
this will be where he goes because you
Oh
can't pass
man.
up a talented running back like that.
Well, it is the Jets,
True. It is the Jets.
but you're right. How can they pass up on a generational talent at running back that they haven't seen in since LaDainian
Years.
Tomlinson, possibly?
LaDainian Tomlinson, Derrick Henry, Adrian
It's
Peterson.
I feel like LT and AP played for the Jets at some point in their career. I feel like
Well, I don't think AP did, but we know Tomlinson did. I mean, who
what if
knows? I
they
mean, Peterson wound up going to a lot of teams there in like his last 2 years. I mean, he was even with the Commanders at the time, Redskins at one point.
and he's with the Titans for a little bit. We're number 8. I mean, I appreciated his
And eight
achievements
at
there.
running back, that's so weird.
It was cool. It was. I think it was like the COVID season, but
Yeah. But I think the biggest thing why I think this might make sense for the Jets is to get this opportunity. And even if it's not Genty, maybe one of the other running backs like Judkins or even Henderson or even Hampton out of UNC is I mean they signed Justin Fields, all right,
yep,
and I mean he's had a lot of ups and downs, but I think we saw this year at Pittsburgh he could possibly he has talent there, and I think he could be a good quarterback if somebody commits to him for a long term. And I mean, overall, the Jets are not a horrible team offensively wise. I mean, Brees Hall is not a bad running back. Braylon Allen is not a bad running back. I think they're good spots. And yeah, I mean, tight end might be a little iffy because I mean Jeremy Ruckert. I've never heard of this guy, but I think receiver is probably where they're strongest at. Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, who's always been a reliable third string slot receiver. So I think having Genty there and then develop that running game to give somebody that Justice can just hand the ball off to, keep it simple for him, would make all the difference.
yeah. And I was a big component of the Justin Fields to the Titans kind of like barrage, but I
Yeah.
knew that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, Justin Fields has a great upside to him. He gets a shot to be the starter in the Big Apple, aka in New Jersey,
Hmm.
and giving him that weapon behind him. I mean, that's like just we talk about home run punchers. We talk about the people you could light and it's like an M80 and they just go off and they do what they need to do. I mean,
Yep.
that's Genty.
That is Genty. He's got it. I mean, he's just a bell cow. And then what was it during October? They came up the meme of him compared to Michael Myers, where he just stands up in the backfield and stares at people. I mean, what more do you want to have that in New York?
And in your GM crystal ball, that makes a lot of sense for you.
Yes, it does. That's why I actually love Genty. And I would love for him to be a commander, but I know he ain't lasting to pick 29.
Ain't no way.
Nope, unfortunately. Oh well. It is what
Oh
it
well.
is.
Yes, sir.
All
And
right. Next on the board, the mighty, the fearless Panthers.
well,
Why'd I say
before
it like that? That
that,
was weird.
I don't know, but before that, I need to make my pick for the Jets.
I'll get ahead of myself. Whoops.
No, no, you're good. That's just they're just so irrelevant. No wonder we want to skip over it. But I don't really have a whole lot to talk about this guy. I think they go more defensive side of the football. Honestly, this might be. I mean, this is the second defensive person taken off the board. I think they go with the big D tackle out of Michigan, Mason Graham,
Good
because
pick.
you know the Jets are known for having big D tackles, and then
Right.
they usually ship them off to the Giants. So,
Yeah.
but I think Graham gives them that missing piece they have right there in the interior of the line. But honestly, that's really all I have to say about that pick. It's not a sexy pick. It's not a pick that you're gonna, someone blow your balls off at any means.
No, it's not.
So,
It's not. It's not sexy. It's not flashy, but it's needed. You need those big boys in the trench to fight and grind and tear. And I mean, that's where you win the games at is in the trenches on either side.
I mean, they're gonna have to try to stop Josh Allen. They're gonna try to stop Drake May and I mean, the Jets are not gonna win the AFC East no matter what they try
Mm-mm.
to do.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, like you said, that does bring on the mighty, the fighting, keep pounding Panthers on the clock. Um, Honestly, I think they also go defense. Like offense, they truly need to keep believing in Bryce. They need to keep chugging along with him, keep pounding, if you will, with him.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I feel
agree.
like they have a little bit of a good core around him. I don't know how much longer Adam Thielen is going to hang around, but
Honestly, I forgot they had Thielen. I actually forgot about that.
my fantasy team was so bad this year that I had him. So so I think they go defense. I think they go into the SEC. And honestly, for me, this is the first SEC player taken off the board, which is insane. But I think they go with the linebacker out of Georgia, Jalen Walker. I think they go with that cat that can bounce around, get anywhere. He can cover the tight ends. He can even bounce out and play a little bit more outside cover. And he can also hawk down the running back and punch out the ball, which the Panthers need something to make some kind of excitement on the defensive side of the ball instead of just getting pounded by the opposing offense.
Not bad, not bad pick. And coming back to the Panthers, this is another one that I've kind of like thought about going back and forth, like offense, defense. And I think originally in my original mock draft I was going to do for this one, I was going leaning toward defense. But the more and more I thought about it, I was thinking, I think we got to stick with offense here. And like
Mm.
you said, Bryce Young is their future, and I think you need to keep him protected. I mean, you need to keep him clean, keep him in the pocket, keep him in his, help keep his confidence. I think that was one of his biggest issues. He lost his confidence way too soon, and he got hit a lot on that team behind that line. So with that, I am going with, and I am probably gonna butcher this guy's name. So you know what? I might just stick with his first name, and it is. Am I even saying this one right? Mimbu, offensive tackle out of Missouri.
Oh yeah, God, that
I'm not
cat is
gonna.
an animal.
He is, and I mean, he's a. I think if it wasn't for Campbell, he could have been probably the best offensive line in the draft.
Yeah, and I mean, you've taken two dudes over the one guy that I thought was the best looking tackle on the board. So I mean, that's why we got these crystal balls.
We do.
Maybe you're over there shaking the eight ball, and it's telling you something different. I don't know.
Shh, don't tell him my secrets here. Keep that to the side. But either way, I think this would be the best interest in the Panthers is to protect their franchise, invest in him, build the
Yeah, and
trenches.
they can't give up on him like they tried to do last year. That was absolute
No,
crap.
and good for Bryce too to like sit through that and stay positive and stay humble about it. He never once criticized or talked about it like he could have. Kudos to him.
Yeah, because I mean, any lesser of a person would have been like, I hate this team. I don't want to be here. Trade me. That we have seen in the past. So,
Yeah, agreed. All right, so that takes us to the Saints.
are they marching? Is going to be the question.
I think they might be marching with this. I don't know. We'll see. It's possible.
All
But I
right.
think with the
So,
Saints here, I think the Saints are going to take the person that you just mentioned with the Panthers. I think they're going to go with Walker. But I mean, I think with them, he might be considered more of an edge player because I mean, he is that. He's a dog. He's a tweener. I've seen him some stuff as a linebacker, some of them as an edge, so he could possibly fill both those needs. But I think the Saints probably need more help in the edge department, so they could probably slide down Walker into the edge in the 4 point stance and have him just get that quarterback.
yeah, and he would excel in that way probably better than dropping back in coverage all the time. But I mean, the Panthers might use him that way. I don't know. But the Saints can, because the Saints, did they get a new head coach again?
Ah,
They did.
mm-hmm.
They did. They hired the Eagles offensive coordinator, the old Boise State quarterback.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, he was the
Interesting.
Cowboys offensive coordinator too. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I think we do think alike here. We are going to take defense. We are going to take someone from Georgia, and we're actually going to take a player that will fill that edge very well. And we saw it all throughout, well, not all throughout the college football playoffs, but through a lot of the games in the SEC. Mikael Williams, I think, is who they take with the number 9 pick,
Good
and
pick.
and kind of going on the same aspects of what you were talking about. A guy in a 4 point stance, it's going to be a dog. He's going to catch those stupid powers, those tosses, and maybe in some of those reverses, he's going to get in the backfield and just pound them. And then he's going to put fear in the quarterbacks of the NFC South, which, that's Baker, that's Bryce, that's the other team that plays in the NFC South, the Falcons.
Falcons.
And I mean, they essentially have a rookie quarterback. The Falcons do. I mean,
Yeah.
but that brings us to the Bears
The
and
Bears.
pick number 10. And you have talked about Caleb Williams. You have talked about a lot about protecting your franchise, protecting some people
Mm-hmm.
who you want to invest in, and the Bears are 100% committed to Caleb Williams. That is 100% fact. They're not going to tout him off to another team.
Agreed, and as they should be.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get a bad quarterback. You just put him in a bad situation, but you're going to make that situation better when you draft. He's not going to fall this far at all. But when you draft the LSU tackle Will Campbell to protect Caleb Williams.
No, he probably won't fall that far, but that's a great pick for them. And even though they've already spent a lot of money this offseason on the defensive line, I mean, you can never use less talented offensive linemen. Even if he doesn't start right away, I'm sure they'll find a way to plug him in there and work.
Yeah, because I mean, if there's nothing wrong with developing an offensive lineman either.
No, no, there's not. And like you said, you want to develop that lineman. You want to have players like when your starters go down, you want to have someone you can plug in and play. And, it's just going to keep rolling like a well-oiled machine. The offensive line is the heart of the offense, regardless.
It is because when you dismantle an offensive line that doesn't believe anymore, you get chaos. And when you have a quarterback who is talented as Caleb Williams is, and I saw it first game of the week last year, as a Titans fan, he beat us. Um, and it was a sloppy game for him, but I mean, you got to recognize talent where it is. And
Yeah.
Chicago doesn't have a worry at quarterback. So about time they decide to protect him.
Yep. I agree. I agree completely. They need to. Now, doesn't mean I'm going tackle here because I am actually going in a little bit of a different direction. Uh,
Ooh.
and honestly, I think this is another one too that I flip flop. I words. I flip flopped back and forth between offense and defense again. And honestly, I was leaning towards offense here, but I was kind of still looking at my top 10. And I forgot about another one of the top edge people on the board,
Mm.
Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. I think we pair him up, give him to the Browns, give him a legitimate, bona fide threat coming off the edge to help improve that defense. And who knows? Yeah, and that could turn things around for them, get their defense going. And sometimes the best defense could be your best offensive protection.
That's true. I mean, you look at the 85 Bears. What were they known for? Having a great,
Defense. And when they
so
had Lovie Smith there as a head coach, what did they have? Defense.
great, one hell of a defense. That's what they had.
Yeah. Because before this, I was originally thinking of going here for offense, and I was going with Webbins, and I was thinking of Loveland from Michigan, the tight end. That could have
Yeah,
been a great utility player for Williams, but I don't know. Stewart just stands out to me.
I'm really also shocked that we didn't pick Loveland in any of this, like in the top 10. Like, it's kind of like the tight end position is very important these days, but is the tight end position becoming more of a utility player, as you just said? Because the days of the Gronkowskis, the days of the Kelseys, I feel like are almost over in this era
Yeah.
of football.
That it is. That it is.
All
All
right,
right.
so that is 10 picks, technically 20. Um,
But
and
yeah,
honestly, I feel like we need to be hired and sit in an office kind of like this at some point.
I agree. We're the future here. We're the future
We are.
heads.
Yeah, if we're young enough to know what we're doing, and
Yeah.
so, well, sort of. And I honestly think that we made 20 great picks,
Agreed.
and
And we
hopefully
had
that
some differences too. I mean, like you said, I was afraid that we were going to be like too similar for our picks, but no,
we weren't.
we we kept it fresh.
Like, I think the only one that we agreed on was Cam Ward. Like, I think that's the only one we truly agreed on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Cam Ward is like just the bona fide non-brainless pick. I mean, you have to.
You have to, and also, you did talk about the King's Ransom at sitting at number one. Like, you could literally take anything from anybody at any time. It's like, are you
Hmm.
going to feed the Pied Piper, or are you going to just stay there and take what needs to be done? And I swear to you, if they come out and the Titans select, like, if they come out and select Travis Hunter, I wouldn't be upset. I would just really ask who's going to throw him the football.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But, Chomp, do you have any closing words as a general manager?
I would just say you be smart. Keep it simple. I mean, if you get a talented young quarterback, build around him. If you don't necessarily have a quarterback, but you have talent there, help improve the defense. Just
Yeah,
until you get your offense there, get the defense going so you can help keep yourself in games and keep the score limited and keep them out of the end zone. I mean, it's simple for the most part. It's simple. If you have that young quarterback, you want him protected. You want him healthy. You want him to be able to scan the field, throw the ball to your receivers, or hand it off to your running back in the field. You don't want a quarterback to be looking around, seeing ghosts, second guessing their choices. Just build around them, protect them, let them know that they are the guy. Build their confidence. Panthers. Yeah.
I cannot agree more with you, GM Chop.
I like it.
I
That's a
think
ring to it.
one day you might have a few Super Bowl rings on that hand of yours.
Maybe so.
I think my closing words as GM Ice is that do not trade away your star wide receiver for a bag of peanuts and derail an entire franchise. And if you don't do that, you're probably going to be good. You're probably going to be
Mhm.
okay. And I think that's just my closing words. And that's not throwing daggers at anybody other than John Robinson. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed our crystal ball, the shockwave of mock draft, our top 10 picks. If you want us to do the entire draft, just let us know down in the comments or, whatever you guys want to do. Comment on TikTok, YouTube, whatever. Make sure you
And look,
like, subscribe on every platform.
why am I frozen?
I don't know why you froze.
That's kind of creepy.
But make, make sure you like and subscribe on every platform. Follow us on the TikToks. Follow us on Spotify. This is a video podcast. We do this for you. And until next time, when you see the field goal post, make sure that football goes right through.
I love it.